family. It's me, your girl, the lady, Miss B. What you say now? Okay, family. Listen, yeah, I'm on the road again. Yeah, I am. But anyway, have you ever been at a point in life when, this is for those of you who have young adult children, maybe 18. Have you ever been at a place in life with them when you realize that they are up and making some decisions for themselves on their own and getting stuff done? Just going ahead and doing the doggone thing. And for all intents and purposes, the decisions that they're making are great. They are making some wise choices. And it just does your heart good to see and to know that they're getting it done. That's where I am in life. I am truly thankful for the gifts that God has given me, because all of them are up and doing the things that they desired to do. Like, they felt it was a great opportunity for them, and they took the high road and just went ahead and got it done. But I tell you, if you don't know what that feels like, it is a wonderful feeling to know that your child has their head on right. They're focused on what it is that they want to get done, and they're able to walk in it. The opportunity has come forth, and they are just doing it. They let you know what's happening during the process of it, but not in a sense that they're asking your permission, but in the sense that they're reassuring you, I got this. I got this mom. I got this dad. I got this grandma, or whoever it is that's helping to raise them, or who has helped to raise them. They touch bases with you just to let you know what's going on with them and that they're handling it. I tell you, that is such a great feeling, because it helps you to know that no matter what the outcome is, at least they tried. They put forth diligent effort and tried, which is actually a testament to us as adults, because there are things that's on our hearts, things that we've written down that we would like to accomplish. God has given us the wherewithal to get it accomplished, and yet and still we didn't make a move on it. God has opened up the door. You saw that the way was clear, and even if the way wasn't as clear as you hoped it to be, you had enough clearance to go ahead and step out in that direction and get it done. And you didn't move. You didn't move. You sat right there and watched everything else just go past. The door slowly started closing. Not that it can't reopen, or not that another door can't open, But the fact that you waited for this opportunity to arise, it came to pass, and you did nothing with it. Nothing. You know, I'm telling you, when I say these teenagers and young adults are just getting up and doing whatever needs to be done, they're making the necessary sacrifices to get it done, and they're doing it. Now, I know somebody will say, well, they're young, so they can get it done. There are some opportunities that you had when you were young, and you could have gotten it done too. But for whatever reason, you didn't. You know, you put it on the back burner, you'll do it the next time around. Listen, we all know that tomorrow is not promised to us. But still, make plans. Work through the plans. Okay? God gave you that for a reason. He put that on your heart for a reason. And if you're not doing anything with it, then what? What was the purpose of Him giving it to you? You know, if God laid something on your heart, He laid it on your heart for a reason. You've got to do something with it. Okay? Everything that we want in life is not going to just drop in our lap. Sometimes we've got to put forth some effort. You know, sometimes we've got to put our elbows into it and get it done. But for so many of us, we have just watched time go by, and we've said, okay, I'm going to do it the next time. You know, if it's school, then we say, okay, I'll start next year. If it's a trade you want to take up, okay, I'll check into it next year. If it's a business you want to start, you're trying to wait and see how many other people going to join in with you to get it done. Sweetie, step out on it. Step out on faith. Step out, even if you don't feel like you have the faith. Just take a step. You know, take a step to see about getting it done. To say at least you put forth diligent effort. A lot of times we're provided an opportunity to do something, but we don't put forth the necessary effort to get it done. And that is something that we've got to do. We've got to put forth effort and get it done. If you're not sure how to do it, and you see that someone else has already done it, then do some research, inquire, ask questions. There are a lot of people that are doing things that is something that you want to do, or you want to do something similar to it, and you're not sure how to go about it. Ask them. If you know somebody has already gotten it done, ask them. Ask them if they can give you some tips. Ask them if they can mentor you to getting it done. Okay, but it's time out for us just sitting around doing nothing with the ideas that God has given us. You know, with the visions that we've had about doing stuff. We started the process of writing it down, but we haven't even completed the process in writing it down. You know, you're writing it down, but you haven't put down any of the steps as to how you would get to the end goal. You know, if it is your desire to save $5,000, okay, what plan are you putting in place to save the $5,000? You know, have you put anything in place? Have you written anything down? Or Or are you just trying to keep it all in your head? No, don't do that. Write it down, okay? If I'm trying to save $5,000, then I'm gonna give myself a time frame of how long before I want to have the $5,000. Okay, so I'm gonna set myself up for a 7-month goal. In 7 months, I want to have $5,000. Then okay, and the reason I say 7 months is because that first month you want to be able to track your spending. Okay, track your spending habits for the first month. Everything that you're spending money on, record it daily. Okay, if you know that you go to that vending machine every day, and that's $2.50 that you're spending in that vending machine every day at work. You're working 5 days a week. So you know that $2.50 that you're spending a week, okay, you're going to do that times 5. All right? That's going to let you see what it is you're spending for a week. Now you take that and you multiply that by 4, because it's normally 4 weeks in a month. Okay, so now you have that cost. All right, if you're eating out, if you are going to lunch 3 times a week, well, we know that on average that's going to be about $7. At least $7. So that's 7 times 3, because you're eating out 3 times a week. Okay, so that's 21 right there. All right. So now you do that 21. You're gonna times that by 4. Okay. Now that's gonna let you see how much money you spend eating out for lunch 3 times a week. Okay, now you want to go back and you want to add in your travel. How many times do you fill up your tank through the week? Okay, so you're not filling up your tank weekly. All right, well, that's fine. So that means you're putting gas in your car, what? At least twice a week, you putting in about $20. So that's $40 right there. For some, it may be $50. You know, you're doing 25 and 25 once a week. Well, that's $50. But guess what? If you go ahead and fill up once a week, then you end up normally saving. All right, if you go ahead and fill up once a week, that fill up may cost you about $40 versus you only putting in $25. Okay, so now you take that, you make the necessary adjustments, you add that in, and you're going to do that for 4 weeks. Okay, so now you've added in, you see what your spending look like for your gas, you see what your spending look like for lunch, you see what your spending look like for the vending machine. Okay, now let's talk about the grocery that we're buying. Yeah, I know groceries getting to be rather expensive, but let's talk about the grocery. That grocery bill is on the average. You're spending, let's see, about $70 a week in the grocery store. Okay, So we're going to take that $70 and then we're going to times that by 4. Now, you see what you have. You're adding all of that in, your monthly expenses. Now, this is outside of your normal monthly bills. This is extra spending that you do. Okay? Because you know normally your bills are going to remain the same, right? Okay? So now you take that and then you look at it. You're spending $70 at least, $70 a week in grocery. If you purchase meals, if you purchase items from the grocery store that can help you to prepare your lunch, and you can add a snack, well, guess what? Now that cuts out the $7, the $21 that you were spending a week for lunch. Okay? So now you got them $21 times 4. Okay? Now you add that to your savings because you got that back. Because now you're getting your lunch from the $70 that you've been spending getting groceries every week. Okay? That $2.50 that you're spending at the vending machine every day, 5 days a week. Okay? So now you take that money that you've averaged out for the month on that, and with that you've also helped to purchase you some snacks when you went to the grocery store. Okay? Now that's saved. All of the ripping and running that you were doing, running back and forth to get lunch throughout the week, and contributing gas money to Susan, who's going to pick up lunch. Well, guess what? That's another bill that you've just cut down. Yeah. All right. Which now in turns helps you on your gas. So now when you spend $40 and fill up your tank, it's lasting you a full complete week and a couple of days into the next week. Alright? So those are just some simple ways that we can get to our process of saving ourselves the $5,000 in 7 months, because now we got 6 months left where we can tally all of that up. Okay? And then see what other spending we've been doing, and then we can also put that aside to get to where we need to be. It's stuff like that that the young folk, they're running it and they're getting it done. Now, of course, the young folk are also taking jobs that pay them real good, or that pay them pretty decent, and the young folk don't mind that if that job not paying them accordingly, they don't mind going to get another job. We, on the other hand, the older folk, we're looking for that stability. So we're going to work on that job, in that position. We're going to work in that position for 10 years, still griping about the fact that we don't get paid enough. And we're waiting for an increase in our pay that we still haven't received. We're still waiting for it. And another year done come and gone, and we still have not received the pay that we're looking to receive. because we want the stability. So we rather struggle financially because we want the stability. Not understanding that the stability is in the fact that you're basically working the same type of a job. See, a lot of times they don't explain that to you. When it's something that you want to go out and do, say you want to go out and purchase a house, they're looking for stability, and their focus is, okay, you switched jobs a year ago, but are you doing the same type of work? We switch jobs because we want better pay, but we're doing the same type of work, which is good. That's still stability. Okay, so those are the things that we've got to focus on doing a little better at, we as older adults, because the young adults, they getting it done. They are getting it done. Some of them have children, some of them don't. So we can't even factor in the fact about the children. We've got to stop making excuses and do what we need to do. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go and leave your job. Nope, I'm not telling anybody to do that. Because I ain't got no money to pay your bills for you. All I'm saying is, just think about what it is that we're doing and the way that we're doing it, the way that we're going about doing it. What can we do to better ourselves? What can we do to help us to get to where we need to be in life? There are things that we can do to help us to get there. Okay? God has given us the knowledge about things. Why aren't we putting that to use? You know, it's a lot that we can do, honestly, to help better ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I'm including me as well. Okay? There are a lot of things that I can do for a better outcome of my life as well. So don't think that I'm just talking to come down on you, because I'm not coming down on you. I'm just sharing my thoughts from my observations that I've made, just watching how the gifts that God has given me, and when I say gifts, that's what I call my children. Okay? When I'm watching how they move through life, they are really teaching me a lot. Because I was one of those ones that was focused on, I just need stability, I need to be stable, I have children, I just want to be able to do what I need to do for my children, get stuff done. And not realizing that the stability that I was looking at was somewhat holding me back, because I could have been further along in life if I had just revisited things and changed my mindset. And it starts with realizing what's going on, reevaluating things, and then changing your mindset, changing your thought process. And that's how we get stuff done. You know, and then we can take a step out. We can move towards that direction and get stuff done. But a lot of times, because we become complacent, and you know, that stability that we're looking for, we don't venture out. You know, we don't venture out. We don't put in for another job. We don't seek a promotion. We just stay still and wait for a pay increase. You know, if you see that there is a job and you feel you qualify for it, apply for it. You know, apply for it. The only thing they can do is tell you no. That's all I can do. Is say no. But if we don't ever apply for it, then we don't know. You know, the young folk don't care. These young folk gonna go ahead and put in an application for it, and they're gonna wait and see what's gonna happen. And guess what? And if the person tells them no, it's okay. A lot of times they ask them why. They want to do a comparison. You know, okay, I have what you need. I have what you requested. You say these are the things that is needed. And I have all of that. Because they don't give up. We, on the other hand, and not all of us, but a lot of us do. We just give up. You know, the job description says high school diploma required, bachelor's degree recommended. And because we don't have a bachelor's degree, we don't apply. But do you have a high school diploma? The requirement was that you have a high school diploma or GED. Okay, well, you have that. So what's stopping you? You don't have a bachelor's degree. Well, it's okay because it says it's recommended. It wasn't a requirement. That was a recommendation. They recommend that you have a bachelor's degree. But guess what? Maybe all of the other skills that they're looking for, you have. Yeah. You have everything else that they're requiring. You have it. But the recommendation of bachelor's degree, you don't have. So you just don't apply. No. Apply. Don't cancel yourself out. Apply and let them say no. We're so quick to cancel ourselves out. Whereas the young folk, they ain't canceling themselves out. They're going to go ahead and do it. And then even for those who, you know, may not have their college degree, they're going to let you know that they got some college hours. Okay? And even for those who don't have college hours, they are able to present something else, you know. I may not have a college degree, or I may not have any college credit hours, but I know how to do spreadsheets very well. You know, I know how to do Excel. I know how to do publications very well. Well, guess what? The job that they apply for, they need somebody who can do a spreadsheet. You know, then they go forth and they'll say, you know, I was able to do a spreadsheet, or I was a presenter on my current job where I had to create presentations, things of that nature. Guess what? Now that is something else that gives the interviewers something to think about. Okay? So come on, let's get it together, because these young folk is teaching us the way. They're teaching us, you know. They are giving us a newfound way to look at things and how to get stuff done. And it's left up to us to grab hold to it and move accordingly. Okay? But we gotta do it, y'all, and we can do it. We can do it, I'm telling you. When I say that they are really teaching me, they're teaching me. You know? And it just gives me a whole lot to think about, a whole lot of reevaluating. You know? But you gotta do it. When you surround yourself with young folk and listen to their process and the way that they do things and how they want to go about doing things, you can learn a lot from them. Alright? So come on, y'all. Those of us that are of a certain age, let's get it together. Alright? Let's go ahead and let's step on out there. Let's reevaluate some things. Let's write some things down. Okay? Write all the steps of it down. Make it plain. And let's go ahead and just work towards it. You know, one foot in front of the other. Step out on faith. You know, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, that's all you need. You know, step out on faith. If it's something within your heart and you know that God has given it to you, then sweetie, there's a way to get it done. Step out on faith and get it done. Okay? Now, I know I've been talking a while, and I hope you guys can replay this and go back and take you some notes and just think about it. You know? If it's not anything in here to help you, share it with someone so that it can help them. Because I'm sure that if you're viewing this, you can see yourself within this conversation. There's something about this conversation, some parts of it that will help you to see yourself and to change your mindset so that you too can go forth and get some stuff done. You know, even if you're scared, do it scared. You know, do it scared. If that's what it means, then so be it. But you gotta do it, alright? Now, you, my friend, be encouraged. Okay? Be encouraged to reevaluate your life, to get stuff done, to change the way you see stuff. Okay? That's what you gotta do. Then you go ahead and you do just that. Alright? Pray about it. Seek the face of God about it. Okay? Some stuff God has already given us the okay to do. We're just being slowful about getting it done. So, you know, have a conversation with the Lord. Okay, God, I'm going to give it my all this time. Help me to get it done. You know? And then get her done. Alright? Because God still cares about the things that concerns us. And our dreams and desires and aspirations are included in those things, because He wouldn't have given it to you if He didn't care. Okay? So remember, we are still in the hand of God. We can apply the knowledge that we have to things. We can study His Word, and we can go forth and do the things in life that will help us, that we can build and go forth and do better in life for ourselves. Alright? And just remember, we are still in His care. He is still caring for us. Okay? I'm in your care. Alright? Yeah, we are still in His care. Alright now. Yes, I'm on a road trip. I am. But you, my friend, please be encouraged. And remember, I'm here with you because I am. Passing on some hope is what I do. And I'll see you soon, right here on this channel, enjoying talks with Ellen B. Be encouraged. Get her done.